and welcome to Aldersley Junction. This junction, this lock, those previous 20 locks up into Birmingham, what they've seen over the centuries, God only knows. The traffic that's come through here, getting from Birmingham up to the Mersey or down to the Severn, must have been phenomenal, carrying coal, steel, weapons, all manner of stuff from the potteries. It's incredible. So Aldersley Junction, 1772, the Staffs Worcester was completed. This junction happened 5 months later, and there was some sort of clause there that said if this wasn't done, the Staffs Worcester company were going to build it and charge the Birmingham main line for that privilege. So what we have here, Great Haywood, 21 miles in that direction. Autherley Junction, where the Shropshire Union Canal is only half a mile in that direction. Now the Shropshire Union Canal wasn't built until 1835, and it was called the Birmingham Liverpool Junction Canal at that point. So for some 60 odd years, the Staffs Worcester carried all the traffic, and vice versa, to and from the north, the potteries, Cheshire, that way, ultimately towards the Mersey. So when the Birmingham Liverpool Canal came along, that was a much more streamlined version. It was the new canal. It was like the new Birmingham main line. They used cuttings, they built embankments, they had flights of locks instead of them dotted all over the place. It was a much more efficient way of travel. So as soon as that was put in place, all the traffic naturally wanted to use that. It was a quicker way to do it. So it obviously meant that the Staffs Worcester guys, the Staffs Worcester Canal Company, they could no longer charge a toll for the 21 miles it was up until the Trent and Mersey at Great Haywood. So all they had left was the gap between Aldersley Junction and Autherley Junction, a small half a mile gap that they could toll. So obviously you think that's not going to be much of a toll. But what they did was, because the traffic had no choice, is they hiked the toll charge, so it was absolutely unreasonable. So that's why the Birmingham Canal Company and the Birmingham Liverpool Junction Canal decided, okay, let's build our own canal. We'll come over the top of this one. So it was at this point between locks 18 and 19 that they decided that because the Staffs Worcester Company had really hiked those toll charges between Aldersley and Autherley Junction, they decided, okay, we'll build our own canal. So they were going to branch off from here. So we got 2 locks left down to Staffs Worcester. They're going to branch off from here, take an aqueduct over where Aldersley Junction is, and then join back into the Shropshire Union Canal with 2 locks to come down. That, therefore, missing out that short section of the Staffs Worcester between Aldersley Junction and Autherley Junction. So the Staffs Worcester guys obviously were like, oh, hang on. Yeah, they could see that that was possible and probable, so they decided, well, they're going to have to cut the losses. At least they're getting some toll for that little half a mile stretch. So plans were abandoned. Staffs Worcester started being a bit more reasonable with their toll charges, and that's where we are today. Here we are in lock 21 now, the Wolverhampton locks, the Wolverhampton flight. Really good condition, those locks. We haven't seen another boat, which is a great shame. I don't think I've ever seen water so clear in a canal. The fish have been incredible. Roach, bream, perch, carp, pike, tench. Seen them all. I've almost seen every coarse fish there is in Britain's waters. Really beautiful. A little bit hazardous around the prop. Lots of weed, because obviously the boat traffic is not chopping it up. So you have to, you certainly have to try to follow the sort of path that other boats have made. But you stray off course and the weed is all around your prop. So we've had a few adventures into the weed hatch. One of them actually stopped the engine at a lock just at the point where I needed to apply the brakes, you know, apply reverse, didn't work, hit the gate. Found a massive woolen cardigan all around the prop. So I had to do that weed hatch change in the lock. But there were a couple of CRT volunteers around who were able to hold things and control things while I was doing that, so that was great. Bit of a Formula 1 pit stop in a lock. But it's pretty much the hottest day of the year, I think, and me and Mrs. Lumsden are absolutely shattered, getting a little bit grouchy with each other. Are you right, Mrs. Lumsden? Oh, she's waving, that's right, she's waving. She probably doesn't want to be on camera today because she's a bit hot and she's a bit bothered, and I've stressed her. I don't know how that's happened, because you know me, I'm quite a happy-go-lucky sort of guy, very respectful, always accommodating her needs, never taking the mick out of her in any way, shape or form. Just wish she'd wear a microphone every now and again. That's all I ask. All I ask. Just giving me a look. So yeah, I think if it hadn't been the hottest day of the year, it would have been a lovely thing to do. But it's been quite torturous. So here we go, exiting the 21 into Aldersley Junction. A very famous junction and a very, very important junction historically. So to the right is Great Haywood, to the left, Stourport. Thank you, sir. You can step on if you want, when you can. Starline narrowboat. And the reason I mentioned Starline narrowboats there was because it holds a special place in our heart. It was our first narrowboating holiday when we hired one of their boats out of Stourport and cruised around the southern half of the Staffs Worcester Canal. And there we have it, we're onto the Staffs Worcester Canal. We do like this canal, don't we?
What are we doing? Are we going back down there eventually?
Yeah. It's going to go across to this side, so it's going to get a shot of that junction from this towpath. And I might just go and get a little bit off that board there.
Want to just hold it then?
Yeah. I'll take that, take this with me. Now, I've done a lot of research around where was the toll house that levied the steep charge that all the controversy was all about. This bridge here, just immediately after the junction, there seems to be a lot of architecture here. There's a lot of
bricked up old windows, doors. There's an obvious fireplace. There's walls that were once there. So this was quite a substantial building around this bridge, and obviously it's a bridge gap, so there's a narrowing. So it's ever likely that this may well have been the charging point for all those boats trying to get from the Shropshire Union onto the Birmingham main line. And of course, if anyone out there does indeed know the answer to my question, then please let me know, where was the actual charging point? Now in 1772, when the Birmingham Canal did eventually meet the Staffs Worcester Canal, it met at a place called Autherley Junction, or as we know it, Aldersley Junction. And those two names were interchangeably used until the Birmingham and Liverpool Junction Canal, now known as the Shropshire Union Canal, was created. It was at that point that Autherley was applied to the northern junction and Aldersley to the southern junction.
There we go, Great Hayward, Stourport, Chester. Welcome to Autherley Junction. Bridge 1. Tiny little stop lock here, just a couple of inches of water. Just enough to protect their water from losing it if there was a breach on the Staffs Worcester. So the Birmingham Liverpool Canal, which this was, became the Shropshire Union in 1847, became part of the Shropshire Union network. So there's a lot of nice buildings here at the end of the beginning of the Shropshire Union Canal. I'm guessing they were the lockkeeper, tollmaster, lengthsman, call him what you will. Well, some of these look a little bit later than sort of 1840-ish. I'd have said they were probably more 1920s, something like that. It's always really peaceful around here. The few times we've come through here, there's just the odd person sort of wandering about or sitting on a bench. Pace.
We now say goodbye to the beautiful Autherley Junction and head south to our ill-fated destination of Kidderminster, where some of you may well have seen my previous vlog where we got trapped in a pollution incident. If you haven't seen that vlog, click on the link above. See you soon. Bye bye.